right, ready, Winnie? She's like, oops, sorry, ma'am. Born ready, she says, and also a tripping hazard. Here you go, ma'am. So with our gorgeous gal, we're gonna warm up with a little bit with some find its with orientation back to me from the environment. Winnie, come. Nice job, cutie. So we are gonna practice a bit. Oh my gosh, nobody likes to chew. Okay, hold on. We're gonna throw the Charlie bears and we're gonna feed the cheese instead. That way, less choking of snacks, potentially. Winnie. Yes. Oh, we crashed into the ball and here it comes. Oh my. What is that ball doing? Here, we're going to roll it away. We'll play with him later. Good job. Ready? Find it. Winnie. Yes. What a good girl. Oh my goodness. Those wild men, they want to come back out for more WrestleMania. Oh, where'd it go? These Charlie bears, they roll everywhere. Nice. So just like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have the chance to say your puppy's name and get them to hone back in, but they do it on their own, you're still going to reinforce and capture those really nice engagements back to you from the environment. Good job, cutie. Ready? Find it. Winnie, come. Nice. Oh my goodness. Chewing, you wild lady. So what we're going to practice a little bit today too is working a bit with some toy play and working between two toys or with toys and food. And we're going to see if we can get her to work a little bit with take it and drop it and working the exchange of one toy to another, but then also potentially working a bit with toys as a way to reinforce for engagement. So let's say loose leash walking, maybe coming when called, working some honing in with the handler. So what we'll do is we're going to grab one of our little toys and we're trying to work a little bit with take it and drop it. And we might even work it where we rotate through the two toys and work it that way. She says, I'm ready. So the benefit of having two toys versus using only a toy and food is for some of the babes, they can start to do a really great job going from one to another. So Miss W is a WrestleMania woman. She's like, let's go get this bad boy. So close, ma'am. She's like a drunken sailor, though. She's going to get better. She's like, I've almost caught it. Good job. So playing tug with your puppy does have a bad rap, but remember, tug does not create an aggressive dog. Tug is a very natural dog behavior and play style that they do enjoy. She's like, yes, I'm onto it, she says. So, but let's say she's got some good go to her. So let's say she's playing with one toy. Oh, you could also drop a Charlie bear by accident. So let's say she's playing with one toy and you want her to go from one excitement moment to another to redirect and help her learn how to let go of one for the other. She's on to me. And let go from one to the next toy. This could be a great way to rock it where you have her practice one and then move on to the other. She's also a little bit of a drunken sailor, so I got to watch for my legs because she does just kind of crash sweetly. So then from here, we might go ready and show her the next toy. So in the beginning, I may not actually say, drop it or whatever little slogan. In the beginning, I just want her to practice the attempt in the behavior. She's a wild woman. I love it. She's got some good oomph to her. You're a wild lady. Ready? Go get it. Nice. Good job. She's like, I like this game. So getting her to go from one to the next, really great way to practice that on-off of going from one potential. Did you bonk your toothy a little bit? She's like, guys, that one was a wiggly worm. So I know she's lost all her baby teeth now too, so her mouth is a little bit more able to grab on. She's like, no, I'm tired. Oh my goodness. So, but if let's say toys can only last so long because she gets a little bit winded, have the toy play be a little bit shorter so we don't lose her to fatigue. So right here, before I lose her, I might use my toy. You ready? And use my toy to create some engagement with me. So as I'm walking around with her, the toy is going to be the reinforcer for paying attention or staying nearby. So now toys could be your reinforcer versus your food, and you can rotate, and maybe you might even find, ready? Go get it, that for some puppies, toys are more reinforcing than food. So everybody's a little different. She says, I got this. She is hilarious. So you might have, for some puppies, they're super toy-driven versus food-driven. I feel she's a good medium. So we might go into a little find it. So in the beginning, I like to make it where there's a lot of great value in letting go by doing a nice big find it. Then as the puppy gets more comfortable, ready? We might go into working take it, drop it, Or you could say out, give, release. Nice check-in. Good job. So we're getting some nice little engagement. I might then swap it up, see if we can change and go in opposite direction. Nice. She's too cute. You ready? Good girl. She's like, I got it. I almost got it. There you go. You caught him. So, but play could be another great way to build engagement with you versus the environment. She's like, I want the handle instead. Whichever side you'd like, ma'am. There you go. Grab one of them. Good job. Oh, she's a wild woman. She's a wild woman. Ready? Nice. What a smart girl. So even while the toy is out and about, I do want to feed her for taking a little pause and choosing to kind of tune in on me versus the toy for a second. And then let's say from here, we get a little sit. Yes. She's like, or it could fall out. Because if, let's say, your puppy cannot go from, let's say, mid-play with you to doing some other little skills, then sometimes the arousal is getting way too high. Yes. Or, for example, they're getting so jazzed and overtired that now their ability to connect with their body and their brain is kind of out the window. So I would highly recommend throughout your play, right, find it, is can your puppy come back from that woohoo and think for a few moments? If not, you may want to make play a bit softer. Or, for example, have play have shorter little bits where you do a bit of play, back to thinking, a little bit of play and back to thinking. Ready? And this could be, again, as simple as scatter feeding to help the arousal go down and to help them regulate, again, their body, but also their mind. This is very pretty with her find its. Winnie, come. Yes, what a good girl. So again, play, another great venue. We'll maybe take a little pause from the toys just for now. She did a really good job. We don't want to get her too winded. So now that she's maybe a little bit more tired, we're going to try a little bit with some of those weights again because she had been doing really well. So we're going to tell her to wait, see if she can rock a little bit with being stationary just for a moment. She's like, nope, that was too hard. So if I lose my puppy, she's like, did you throw it? Is I try to reset them up roughly where I originally wanted them. I didn't throw it. And we're going to have her wait. And then this time I'm not going to add distance. I just want to work the time frame just to make sure she's successful. Winnie, come. Nice. So if when you set up your puppy and you're constantly moving and she moves with you and you just keep resetting her up further and further from when you first started, the problem with that is a lot of times maybe you're working on a wait and trying to get through a doorway or wait and eventually get called out of your car. If your puppy is constantly moving throughout the wait, then maybe holding still is not part of the exercise, but movement is. So I want her to think that when she's sitting or downing or standing and I apply that weight, it means don't wiggle until I call you. Ready? So I'm going to try and get Miss W. Get her to do a little sitting position. Nice. I'm going to tell her to wait. And then two, I do throw out a couple little find its here and there to give her like a little break and then rotate through skills. Winnie, come. Yes. Nice job. Ready? So we'll set her up maybe on this side instead. Win. Get a little sit. She's like, did you throw, that was a crumb that fell out of your face earlier. Might as well gobble it up. Yum, yum. So ready? We'll get a little sit. She's like, I can't yet. There's too many snackers. So if I lose her, she could just be getting a little bit tired. Ready? Right here. So I'm going to tell her to wait, give her just a little chance to be successful. Winnie, come. Nice. So, but remember earlier when I was mentioning with one of the lovely gentlemen, is if being stationary, working a sitter down is too challenging and you're having a rough time getting them to wait until they're getting called, you can go back to working a few find its and then call them from that. So again, with Miss W, same thing. If we do a little find it, and then from here, Winnie, come. Yes. Then you can still work those lovely recall moments, but then not have to worry so much about being stationary if it's too challenging in the beginning. Winnie, come. Yes, what a good girl. Nice job. Two, if she tends to go really quickly past you, I would recommend feed a few snacks for when she comes into your space to create more value in the being stuck here for a few moments before she goes and does some more sniffy walks or exploration or whatever she might be working on. So again, find it. Winnie, come. Yes. Good job. Ready? Find it. Winnie, come. Yes. Oh my gosh, did it fall out? You're going to get a double whammy. Snack that was in there already and snack that came out. So with these recall moments too, if Miss W is doing really well, like let's say she did, chew, is 10 to 15 recalls. Oh my goodness, we forgot to breathe. You good? Ooh, chewing and running is hard. It's all of them are working on this big boy, big girl skill. So let's say recalls are going beautiful, but you tend to always do like 15 to 20 or 30 recalls and call it a day. Remember that if we do a lot of recalls every single time, it may start turning into like almost boot camp with recall, and it may start to become more of a chore than fun. So I'd keep it short and sweet with maybe sometimes you do two recalls, sometimes you might do 15, sometimes you might do 7. But if you start to lose your puppy's engagement or resilience or bounce back, it's more than likely they're getting overtired or maybe getting bored or maybe they're getting a little bit confused. So make sure to take a pause and see if you can help them be successful. So I'm going to go back into working. Maybe we'll do a little bit more with our loose leash walking. Ready, cutie? So in the beginning, I always like to, again, have the puppy be working loose leash walking in a softer, more kind of easy environment to learn the how-to skill before implementing distractions or difficulty. I know Miss W had taken some group classes as well. She went through PK and Puppy Grad and was doing beautiful. So remember too that, oh my goodness, chew them, is if, let's say, Miss W is taking a pause from practice at school, don't worry. But I would recommend to keep maintaining. So if that means at home, you're mostly sticking to the yard, the home front, and you're not doing much for novelty, it could become novelty could be harder for her than down the road. This doesn't mean that if something is challenging for her, we set her up in the most difficult dynamic ever and hope she gets over it. But I would recommend to go to open spaces and practice some of the content from class and or from day school and build in those practice moments in that open space. So then from afar, maybe she does notice a family with a stroller, or she notices a car driving off in the distance, or maybe there could be some kids playing on the playground, 30 to 50 feet away or whatever it might be for distance. But right now, adolescence is going to be probably one of the most challenging moments for both you and your puppy. And you want to make sure that even though puppyhood seemed like a really pretty good start, if we don't keep exposing and practicing for at least the good first year and a half, you don't use it, you kind of lose it. So make sure that for her and her classmates, we're continuing to build on this foundation with positive but at your puppy's comfort range exposure. Because it's very different to flooding. Flooding is, again, where your puppy is really overwhelmed, flustered, shutting down, or reacting with big emotions, and we're forcing them to try to get over something by just, again, surrounding them with a big experience. And that normally tends to create trauma or negative experiences and exposures, not changing in the way they're responding to those things. So make sure it's still at your puppy's rate of comfort too. Nice job, Winnie. Smart girl. So maybe we'll give Miss W a little breather from this, and we'll work a few more little skills in just a second. But she's doing a really nice job with the toys, working sort of that on, off, and coming back from it, as well as working some of this nice loose leash walking. Good job, cutie. She's like, oh, so tired. So we'll do a little find it. We'll give her a little breather, and we'll rotate through a few more skills.